Hey everyone, Chris here, and in this video I'm talking about these Mavic Cosmic Pro bike wheels. So they're not the stock wheels that come with a bike. Generally when you buy a bike you get pretty mediocre wheels, and if you want really nice wheels you have to go out and buy some, and they cost almost as much as your bike, but they do look pretty cool. These ones here from Mavic, obviously they are carbon and they're the disc brake editions. I think officially they're a 45mm rim depth. I have measured this and it's 50. I'm not sure whether that's a measuring thing or Mavic have just changed the sizes. But they're generally, the more rim depth you get, the more aero it's going to be, but the more weight you get on. But the nice thing about switching from the stock wheels that I got with the bike to these nice carbon rims is that the weight was actually the same. So it was 1.7 kilos for the old alloy wheels and it's 1.7 kilos for these. You can get slightly lighter wheels if you have thousands of pounds to spend. I only had one lot of £1,000 to spend, and so I got these 1.7 kilos. Center lock disc brakes, and they just look nice because they've got the chunky rims, but also just like the little detailing where it says Mavic. It's quite nice. When I was out doing the Tour de Yorkshire a couple of years ago, the Mavic service car that was driving around came up and had a little chat to everyone where he was saying, Mavic wheels, very nice. And on the back they also make a lovely free hub sound. So this is something that adds absolutely no value, but you know, when you stop pedaling and you get that tick, 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 tick from the free hub that everyone loves. These do that really well. Arguably a disadvantage on racing if you're like trying to bridge a gap and come up onto the front pack and just sit on for a while before they notice you're there. Probably not helpful if you've got that little tick sound going, but it does sound really cool when you're descending out on sportives. In terms of speed, honestly, I can't really tell the difference. So they are more aerodynamic because they've got that deeper rim profile for no extra weight, and so they probably go faster. I can't really tell, it's so hard to work out your relative speed when you're cycling anyway. I couldn't really in a blind test tell you the difference between having these wheels on and having the stock wheels on in terms of speed. I absolutely could in a crosswind, because even though they're just 50mm, when you get that crosswind and it just hits those rims, it really makes a difference in terms of how much it knocks the bike over. Nothing like having something like a disc wheel, but it is definitely different to the shallow rims. I can definitely feel that wind a bit more. Nothing bad's ever happened. I've never had any accidents. I've never come off because I got caught in a crosswind, but you can definitely tell that it's on there. In terms of the tyres, so I've got the Mavic Yksion, I think it's called. Might be butchering that pronunciation. Now, one of the reasons I got this combination was that Mavic were like, we finally done tubeless right. So these are tubeless wheels. So if you're familiar, you've got your old school wheels, and then you've got your clinchers. Then you've got tubeless ready, which are wheels that you can use tubeless if you do the right stuff, like if you put rim tape on, and I think you might need to do maybe some other things, like putting the sealant inside the tyre, then you can ride them as tubeless. And then you've got true tubeless, which means you don't have to bother with the rim tape because they're perfectly set up, and technically you don't have to bother with the sealant. I do put sealant in these anyway, but technically you don't have to bother with the rim tape or the sealant or any of that because they're just tubeless out of the box. And these are that level, so they're tubeless. You stick the tires on. You can put sealant in if you want. I would recommend that, but you don't have to. You don't have to bother with any rim tape. It's just ironically tubeless ready, even though it's the best kind of tubeless. And Mavic said it was super easy to get the tyres on and off. Well, it is not. Like any tubeless setup, it is really hard to get a tyre on and off these rims. And so I wouldn't bother getting the same tyres again, because nobody really speaks that highly about Mavic tyres. I had one I have had one irreparable puncture where the sealant wouldn't seal anything. So not super in love with the tyres. Don't think the specific wheel and tyre combination does make it any easier, because when I was trying to get the new tyre on and the old tyre off, I managed to snap my tyre levers and had to run out to the bike shop and buy new tyre levers. So there's no magical combination there where it's suddenly way easier to get them on and off than it is with any other combination. But that's a problem with all tubeless setups, right? It's really hard to get the tyres on and off. So I'm not recommending the tyres, but the wheels I really like, because they look cool, and I don't think it's a bad thing that it's necessarily really hard to get it on and off, because that's true of all tubeless setups, is where I was going with that. The tyres I use are a 28mm, and those work fine in the rims. I'm not sure what it can go up to, but definitely 28 is where a lot of the pro peloton and pro triathlon field is kind of heading these days. So that works out really well for me. So should you buy these wheels? I think, like, if you're a pro cyclist in the pro peloton, you're going to be able to tell the difference between wheels. I can't really tell much of a difference between these and my stock wheels, other than they look a lot cooler and you can feel them in the side winds. But I trust the science that having that deeper rim depth will actually make me go faster. And it is hard to get the tyre on and off, but that's true of all tubeless wheels, and it is tubeless out the box. You don't need to do any other fancy stuff to get the tubeless setup. You just get a tubeless tyre, stick it on, and you're done. Optional sealant can go in too. Hopefully that was useful. If so, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to see more cycling videos, then hit that subscribe button, because that's what my channel is all about, and I would love to see you in another video.